Our next caller, Lakala, calling from Virginia. How are you? Welcome to Stay Paid.
Hi, how is everyone doing? It's LaKayla. Yep, I'm down in Yorktown, Virginia.
Awesome.
Yorktown. Well, LaKayla, thank
Yes,
you yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
yes.
All right, love it. Thank you for joining Stay Paid. We're excited to have you on the show. How can we help you grow your business? Like, what is the question you have or thing that maybe is holding you back that we can help you with?
Yeah, so something that I definitely have been having a lot of conversations with other professionals, and one that we find is kind of common. And I've kind of come up with a way that I wanted to ask it, so hopefully it'll be clear. When it comes to buyers and sellers who are unsure about the market and unsure about the timing, and because there's this level of uncertainty, they feel waiting is the safest thing to do. So I'm always just wondering, what can I do, or what's the role of the agent? Like, what can we do that will help people make better decisions? Because waiting is not always most beneficial to them. In fact, it can actually cost them.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, really good question, and a struggle I think everybody has been facing lately, especially with mortgage rates where they are, and the majority of the nation is sitting on what, less than a 4%, like 4% or less is what the majority of the nation has been sitting on, which is crazy. Yeah, can you give me a little background of your business, how long you've been in real estate, kind of what's your volume, a level from a transaction side that you do?
Sure. So this year actually marks me being licensed for 32 years. I am originally from Virginia, but I started my
Wow.
real estate career in Georgia. So I got licensed in Georgia in 94. I was in the Atlanta market. At the time when I started out, I did a lot of relocation. So worked with buyers and sellers, relocated back to Virginia in 2013 because my parents were aging, and I had found myself primarily in the niche working with seniors. My volume is usually around about 4 million or so
Wow.
a year, doing roughly about 12 to 15 units per year. But always looking to grow, always looking to develop myself.
Yeah, well done. You are a solid producer, and
Uh-oh, there's
congrats
a
on the
delay. I couldn't hear you.
That's okay. I was saying, well done. You are a solid producer with many, many years of experience. My gut tells me you pretty much already know the answer to the question in this regard of you are really a real estate consultant, right? So part of your
Absolutely.
business, you have to do sales and you have to do marketing. You have to attract people in, but you're really consulting people based upon the needs that they have and
Mhm.
the desire that they want and their situation economically. And so when I think about your question of how do I guide people the right way, when I think about, the sales process and the real estate consulting process, it really starts with, can you get to the true pain point and the true reason behind them wanting to move? And you really have to get that. Like, what is the motivation? Is it a job? Is it that they need more room because they just had a kid? Like, what is that driving motivation? And then that plays into, of course, their urgency. And that
Correct.
plays into you being able to consult them the right way. Because when you put pressure on them to try to educate them of, no, you shouldn't wait, you should be moving. Sometimes people will move. It doesn't have to be the best economical situation because their desired outcome is different than that. Like they
Right.
maybe don't totally care. Cause I know we do a lot of investing. There's a lot of investment deals we've gotten where it's like a great deal for us, the investor. And you would be thinking that this homeowner is like, well, you're losing out on 50 grand in equity. You could take it to market instead of selling to us for cash. But that's not what they ultimately want. They want a speedy transaction. They want cash in hand right away. They don't want to have to deal with it. And so not everybody is driven by the same things is the point I'm making. And
Right.
I would encourage you that it starts with, are you in your appointment getting the true reason of motivation? And then if you are and you feel like you're getting that, then it moves to, how do you convince people that they should be moving, even though they're thinking I should wait because the market might change or, interest rates might go down or whatever. You can't control the market, but you can educate them on what the market traditionally does, right?
Mhm.
And do home values go up or down, LaKayla? Do home
They
values
do
go up or
both.
down? Do they
They do
appreciate?
both. So, because we operate in cycles.
Yep. So if you hold long enough in real estate, are you going to lose money or you're going to make money?
Typically, you're going to make money. If you hold it long enough, you're going to make it.
You're going to make money.
Mhm.
Exactly. So what I get into with people is like, hey, if I know and understand your outcome and your goal that you want, we know real estate is an appreciating asset that if you hold long enough, you will win in this business. And ultimately, prices go up. They don't usually come down. So
Right.
is there a chance that they could try to time the market in terms of like when a mortgage rate is going to dip or when house prices are going down? Sure, they could try, but what does every major investor tell you, and what does everybody know in this business? You can't really time the
You can't
market,
time it.
and that's why the whole term "date the rate" came in. So I would just encourage you that I think you know that there isn't really a great value add that you can wow them with besides the actual facts, and it really comes down to what is their desired outcome. And
Right.
that's what I'm going to push on. I'm going to push on the emotional desired outcome. And then I'm going to confidently explain to them that, hey, you can hold and wait to time the market. But traditionally, and what I've seen over my 32 years of experience is it's almost impossible to time the market. So what you are better off doing is going off of the things that we know to be true. That real estate appreciates usually 4% a year. And if you're not going to sell this house in 2 years, you're probably going to do well if you hold long enough. And I want to drive you back to the real reason why you're moving. The real reason why you want to list the home is because whatever that reason was, you don't want
Right.
to know, you no longer want to walk upstairs anymore because of the potential falling, because you said you were working with seniors. Like, what's the reason they want to downsize? You don't want
Mhm.
to have to take care of this property anymore and that quality of life. And so, yes, I want to make sure I protect you from an economic standpoint, but I also want to make sure I guide you the correct way of your quality of life and the reasons why you should actually move now. That's where I've seen it work with Acre Brothers, is that people will make decisions based upon the emotional outcome and quality of life they want, but they get so nervous that they're going to make a terrible decision financially. So it's your job to assure them, well, financially, here's what the market does. Here's the difference in money that you might save. Let's say if rates went down by half a percentage point, or
Mhm.
what you might save if the market turned by 10 grand. But is that worth your quality of life? Is that worth what you're living through right now? That's the real question we have to decide. And I'm here to consult you in this and give you the best opportunity. That's where I would go with it. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, Luke, and I totally agree with you. And I also think there's sometimes when motivation may change, like it may adjust. And so I said, as I'm listening to you, it's like that's all great if they would get back on the phone. I have a few. We'll have that conversation,
Yeah.
and then they're not open to conversation. So you can't do that if they're not. They think they know, and now they're not answering your calls, your follow up calls.
That's such a great point. It's why on your first call, one of the main things you have to do in your first conversations is you try your hardest, and it's a difficult thing, but you try your hardest to get to the real motivation, the
Mhm.
real reason of wanting to buy or sell. You've got to push extremely hard. It's like, I'll give you a comparable with Reminder Media when we sell, right, our magazines to people to send, or our, marketing products. I tell our sales team, the first objection that you get is not real. Not because it's not important to that person, but 9 times out of 10, most people, it's like you walk into a retail store, the person asks you, can I help you find something? And the
No.
initial gut reaction is no. And
Mhm.
it's not because that person is not interested in buying something in that retail store. It's just how human nature
Human
is. It's
nature.
just you throw up a guard because I'm going to have to make a decision. I'm going to have to reveal something that's vulnerable that they could maybe use against me. And so your job as the professional is to push through what you know to be surface level. And it's not that they're not telling you their total real motivation, but they're telling you maybe the surface level of
Mhm.
their motivation. And this is why have you ever heard of the 5 whys?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that?
Heard of the
Okay,
five
so the
Ds.
five
So
whys for those who are
what are the five
listening.
whys? Mhm.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to ask you what the 5 Ds are after this, but
I
the
think that's
five
the
whys,
the reason people
it,
move. Yeah,
it's the reason
yeah.
people move. Yeah, divorce, death, stuff like that. But the 5 whys are it's essentially a thought process of getting to the true reason. So if LaKayla says, I'm wanting to move and I want to move over because I want to be in a different area. Well, why do you want to be in a different area?
Mhm.
Well, I'm really looking for, more acreage. Why are you looking for more acreage? And you go 5 whys deep, because then you'll find out they want more acreage because they have young kids and they want their kids to be able to be outside. Oh, awesome. And you get to that deeper why, which is the emotional pull. And remember, people are convinced on logic, but they buy on emotion. And this is like proven in psychology. The way we make decisions is through the emotional part of our brain. And if I was smarter, I would know the different parts of the brain, but it's the emotional part of the brain. And that's why it's like people will say it doesn't feel right in my gut. What does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like two plus two is 4. It's not 5. It's not 6. Two plus 2 is 4. So what do you mean it doesn't feel right in my gut? It's because people make decisions emotionally. So they got to be convinced on logic. Well, the convincing on logic is you rightfully explaining and consulting to them, what does the real estate market do? What would the difference be if they held? What would the chances of them being able to time the market be? All these are you as a professional guiding them and saying, hey, look, these are the facts. This is the logic.
Mhm.
But the reason why I share this logic with you is because I want to get back to the main reason why you want to actually sell your home and get to the new home. And then you give that emotional. And what is that peace of mind worth to you? What is that emotional quality of life worth to you? And when you get people thinking that way, they'll be like, you're right. I could maybe time the market and save 10 grand. But, historically, even the great investor Warren Buffett says, don't try to time the market.
Yes. So you meant WHY, not the letter Y. So it's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's a way for you to try to get deeper with people. It's like ask 5 whys. Like you might not always make it to the 5th why, but it's why. And why do you say that? And why do you say that? And you got to be careful because it might come across as a interrogation. So you got to frame it appropriately. But that's what you want to do. But great question, because everybody is struggling with it.
Well, my mother would say I should be good at that because I did that well as a kid.
Nice.
Yeah, I read you, LaKayla. I mean, you're a really good producer, solid, been in the industry. You could be coaching me, been in the industry for 30 plus years. You're struggling with the same thing all of us are, is people are sitting on low interest rates. Prices are super high. Buyers and sellers are thinking, is this the right time to sell? Because we just came through one of the greatest markets ever, and now we're in the worst market ever. And they're wondering, should I hold? And the answer to that is, well, what do you want out of life? Are you holding just for money? Are you holding for a quality of life? Like, what do you want? Like, I got to get to that before I consult you on the investing side. Like, what does it mean for your economics? Because, everybody wants to feel like they're getting a great deal, right? When they're moving, when they're buying and selling, they're either getting what they want for their property or they're buying a great deal. Everybody wants to feel that way. And so your goal is to guide them through, is it a great deal? Are they going to win in the end? And how do you showcase that to them through logic and then tie it back to their main reason for moving? And you focus on seniors. So you have such a great, you know why you do? Because, and this sounds maybe bad, I mean this respectfully, do they have a long time to live? Is money important to them?
I
Like
mean,
the ultimate importance to them? And it's
money and not nearly as much as a younger person.
exactly. That's my point. It's like, I mean it respectfully of like, yeah, I hope they live, but they are way more mature of going, hey, my quality of life means more to me now than having an extra 5 grand, 10 grand in my bank account. And I still believe they will actually do well, even if you convince them over the right logic to move. So that's amazing. And then also you think about what's the reason why they want to move. It's usually downsizing. So they don't have to do as much work, the landscaping work. They don't have to walk upstairs anymore. It's usually those pain point reasons that are true quality of life things.
Right.
They might want to be closer to their grandbabies, right? And so you have such emotional connections that you can drive for quality of life to get to them to move. But you're going to have to do that on the first call, because your problem is you're getting some calls and appointments, but then they're ghosting you is what I'm hearing.
Yep, some.
Yeah.
Or they'll go out with buyers. They'll go out and see things, and then they get discouraged because maybe their budget can't get them what they want. So I'm not getting ghosted right away, but it is happening.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I would add to all of this discussion that's kind of a different angle on this same problem is you do not have a probably sales problem from a client perspective of helping these people, because you want to make the best decision for them. And maybe the best decision is they should not move.
Mhm.
You need a bigger pipeline.
That's right.
So
That's
you
smart though,
need
to make a
more,
solid
yeah,
decision.
you need
Yes.
more leads, so you don't have to feel any commission breath. Not saying you do, but we all feel that pressure. You don't feel any commission breath to close this deal with this senior, because you have such a full pipeline of people to help that you can be so truthful with everybody you talk to. Like, you can just be
Yes.
brass tacks, authentic and truthful, and go, hey, I believe you're making a mistake because you're wanting to time the market. And here's why I say that. And I just mean that because some agents won't tell you that because they're just interested in getting a deal done. My job is to consult you here and tell you the facts. And that's why I've been in business for 32 years. And I would love to help you, but I just want to make sure you are armed up with the best facts possible to help you and your family and what you're trying to do. And if you have a full pipeline, you'll have no fear telling people the truth. You'll have no fear telling people this is what it is. Take it or leave it. I'm here to help. I want to serve. And there's a lot of people I'm trying to serve right now. And I would love for you to be one of them. But if not, man, I'll keep in touch with you, whether you buy today or in 4 years. I want to be your person, and you'll always get the truth from me. And dude, that's gonna make people feel like, whoo, I want to work with LaKayla.
Oh, what? Yeah, yeah. So that's the answer, and that's the answer I keep coming back to: a bigger pipeline.
Yep. A bigger pipeline. I love it. LaKayla, thank you so much for coming on the show, because I hope this was helpful to you, but I know this will be helpful to so many agents out there that are struggling with the same thing. But really appreciate you being a listener, coming on the show. Let's connect on Instagram, and we'd love to hear how it goes for you.
Yes.
And if you need help building your pipeline, let's connect, because I can help you do that, whether it's through paid advertising or, marketing to your referrals like you're doing, and we can step it up a notch there.
Awesome. Thank you, LaKayla. Good luck.
All right. Thanks so much, Luke.
All right.
You and Josh have
Bye
a great
now.
day. Bye.
You too. Bye.